Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for this week. These are for the week ending August 8th, 2015. We've got Saturn going direct, which is one less retrograde, which is awesome because we have too many as it is, and lots of cool stuff going on, so we're going to get right to it. And we're going to start, as we always do, with Aries. Uranus' squared position with Mars is going to be ending towards the end of this week, but it's still going to give you problems until that happens. And of course, Uranus is still in squared position with Pluto because that ain't going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately. But we're keeping our fingers crossed that it ends next year. But it is a really heavy, really long squared position. But luckily, that squared position with Mars is almost over. By Thursday this week, it will be done. But until that time, you are going to be having some issues, feeling like you don't have time for you to focus on your dreams and goals because there's just not enough time in the day. We've all been through this one before. Life gets in the way. Life always gets in the way, and it happens to throw those little wrenches in your schedule and plans and challenges that you have to overcome. Now, the normal person would take this as a sign that maybe they should just give it up, and this is the point when you absolutely should never give it up. The truth is, if you don't work through the challenges in order to get what you want, the ultimate outcome is not going to be as sweet, and that is the truth. Now, Uranus's trine positions with Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury this week are very helpful when it comes to seeing those advancements take place in your career. So these may be side projects that you're having a hard time getting some time into your life for. But again, by the end of the week, it'll actually be opening up for you, and a lot of things are going to be opening up for you. The biggest thing with squared position between Uranus and Pluto this week is the fact that you have to look at what's going on in here. If you're already automatically going to, well, of course I don't have time for that, so it's not going to happen, well, then it's not going to happen. And it's as simple as that. You got to train your brain to think positive thoughts. If you don't have the time right now, schedule some time tomorrow. If things keep popping up and getting in your way, maybe you need to be a little bit more assertive and say, is this really my problem, or can somebody else handle it? Or do I really have to get this done now, or can somebody else handle it? Because the truth is, unless somebody needs to go to the emergency room, it really probably doesn't need to be done right this minute. So you have to be a little bit more assertive. You have to work through the challenges, because only by overcoming the challenges can you really see the most success in your life. And you guys know how to do it. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, your focus moves to relationships this week. Not all bad, and yet not all good either. When you're looking at your relationships, of course, you want to see everybody getting along and happy and being ruled by Venus. This is what it's all about. But your ruling planet Venus is in retrograde, and as the moon moves into your sign towards the beginning of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, she's going to move into T-squared position with that retrograde Venus, as well as Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn, and this is going to be a bit of a difficulty for you guys. This aspect really makes you feel like you got to make a choice between what you want to do versus what other people want you to do. And this is never fun, especially for a fixed sign who wants to do what they want to do, quite frankly. And to be honest with you, Tauruses, who's going to tell a bull what to do and get away with it anyways? I mean, let's think about this for a minute. If somebody in your relationships doesn't necessarily agree with what you want to do with your life, that's okay. They have that right to not agree. But a lot of times what happens when that person doesn't agree is we take it internally. Why is it that I can't do what I want to do? Nobody said that you can't do what you want to do. Somebody's opinion was that it may not work out, and that's their point of view, not yours. How does it feel and how does it resonate with you? That's what you want to ask yourself. And do it if that is what you're called to do, regardless of what anybody says about it. It's your responsibility to put yourself first and everybody else second. Not because you're egotistical, but because if you don't care for you first, who's going to take care of you if something happens to you? Because you're expending all of your energy taking care of and worried about what everybody else is thinking. This week, focus on what you want. Focus on your goals and your dreams and make the most of them. And those people that have those opinions, well, when they see the success that comes out of your ideas, they're probably going to change those opinions really quick. Either way, it works out in your benefit. So you guys have a great week with that. Gemini, it's all about money for you guys this week, and as the part of fortune kicks off the week in your sign Sunday through Tuesday, you got the money flowing at you from all different directions, and it's a beautiful, wonderful, lovely thing. It's all about luck when it comes to money, not just the money coming to you, but look out for deals and half-off sales and, you know, getting some things with the spending not as much money as you anticipated spending. This week is all about opening up that money door, that door to abundance, and letting it flow your way. And it doesn't have to stop on Tuesday when the part of fortune leaves your sign. Keep that visualization open and keep that door of abundance open to see that money continue to come to you as long as you need it. This is a great opportunity to put some money aside for a rainy day, or have the extra funds to be able to put into some of the projects that you've got going on that you've been needing money for. Either way, however you want to use it, enjoy it, because it is your right. And it's so lucky for money for you this week that everybody else who's not a Gemini is going to wish that they're Geminis, because that's how cool it is. So you guys have a great week with that. Cancer, Mars remains in squared position with Uranus up until about Thursday this week, and this aspect is going to have you feeling like life is just constantly throwing these wrenches in your plans when it comes to achieving some of your goals and dreams. But all week long, he's still in trine position with Saturn, showing you the responsibilities to yourself, and specifically the responsibilities to your goals and dreams. Now, if you put these things first before everybody else, it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't mean that they're more important than the other people in your life that are important, or the other responsibilities in your life. But it doesn't have to be so cut and dry. It's not an all or nothing situation either. You don't have to just focus on your goals or just focus on your responsibilities. You can do both, just like anybody else can. These challenges come to us for a very good reason. They show us just how hard we're willing to work to get not only what we want, but what we deserve. And for the amount of energy that you put out there to everybody else, you deserve to mirror some of that energy back into yourself and those things that you want to accomplish. So this week, it is going to get easier as Mars moves out of that squared position with Uranus. You're really going to start to feel his energy projecting you forward in your goals and dreams. And this is his last week in your sign, so you want to use up that energy while you got it. You guys have a great week with that. Leo, happy birthday to all the Leos born this week, as Jupiter prepares to leave your sign finally this week. His opposition, along with Mercury and Venus's oppositions with Neptune, is going to be a heavy weight for you guys indeed. It's definitely going to make you feel like your hopes and dreams are so far away you can hardly even see them, and that's so frustrating and just so deep on a deep emotional level for you guys. Neptune really shows you just how deep this root is, and is doing this in order to help you identify this root so you could free yourself from the ball and chains of the emotions of this root. But Uranus's trine with the Sun and Venus in your sign this week is a beautiful thing, because it also shows you just how many things that you can do with this, and shows you that a bit of a challenge does not mean the end all to everything. You still have the ability to shine in what it is that you truly want to do. And those challenges, well, challenges are always there for a reason. If you want it, you're gonna have to work for it and go through everything, challenges or no challenges, in order to get what you want. But the end of the week, the part of fortune comes into your sign to really shine some luck when it comes to your career and prove to you that no matter how big the challenge is, you still can move forward to those hopes and dreams, even if they seem so far away. The part of fortune brings a very clear light at the end of the tunnel, even though it seems like you're looking at that light through debris. And the whole purpose of this is get through that debris so that you can get to the light at the end of that tunnel. Slap those crowns on, Leos, because you know you can do it, and have a great week with that. Virgo, Mercury moves into your sign officially at the end of this week, and Jupiter is set right on the cusp, ready to jump on into your sign, probably next week or the week after. And as these two planets start to move into your sign, they move right into opposition with Neptune. And this aspect is going to be a heavy one when it feels like you have opinions on what you want to do with your life, and the people that you love have their opinions on what you should do with your life. The typical Virgo doesn't like this kind of confrontation or discussion. They like everything to just be cool and everybody to get along. But unfortunately, this is not how life works. People have opinions and they're going to voice them. That's just how people are, unfortunately. But this week, rather than taking their opinions and so much to heart that you stop what it is that you want to do, this week it's all about convincing them so clearly of your intentions that there's just no possible way that they can not see your success in your endeavors or those things that you want to do. Failure only happens when you don't do anything to make your dreams and goals come true. You're going to fail every single time, and other people's opinions oftentimes are a lot of the fuel behind this supposed failure. This week it's all about making that inner voice shout to the rooftops your success in your endeavors, and quiet that inner voice that says you can't do it, because those people and their opinions are just a reflection of that inner voice. So that's going to help you also when it comes to projecting what you want to see in your future happen. So, are you going to do it, or are you not going to do it? It's your choice, really. And the challenge is nothing if you're willing to face it, overcome it, and move on with it. So you guys, have a great week with that. Libra focuses on the internal self this week. Not necessarily the most pleasant thing to focus on, but when you have emotional roots in past situations that come up in the present situations, those things can be a little bit difficult for anybody, but especially for air signs. And with your Venus, ruling planet Venus in retrograde, it's going to have even more of an impact for you guys. Present situations oftentimes will feel like past situations, and it's the feeling that causes that root or that emotional reaction to what is going on. And the truth is that the present circumstance may not even be as big of a deal as the actual root circumstance, but it feels the same way. When you find yourself coming up with this feeling over and over again, it's an opportunity to identify with that emotional root. When you're able to identify with that emotional root, you can let it go. The truth is, you cannot change the past or the circumstances that happened in the past. We know that. But you can change how you feel about the circumstance. Now, a lot of times I have people coming up to me and they say, well, I was abused and I was hurt. I'm not going to let that go, and I can't change that. Well, I agree. And I'm here to tell you that I was abused and I was hurt too. But it doesn't affect my present situation now, because I let go of the emotions of those roots. Yes, there's still some roots that I hang on to that I have to work through. Internal development is a process that never really stops, and you're always going to do it. But this week is all about daring to look at that root and work on releasing the emotions of it. You can't change the situation, but you can change how you feel. And when you do this, you release that ball and chain that's holding you down on your foot and open yourself up to possibilities, more possibilities than you can possibly imagine. So you guys, have a good week with that. Scorpio, as Saturn moves into direct motion this week, it means that he's leaving your sign soon enough. Not this month, but probably next month. And at least his retrograde is over, and that does make it a little bit easier. But his squared position with Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus this week is going to make it seem like you're working against the grain here. No matter what you do, you just can't move forward. But his trine with Mars gives it a little bit of a different spin, giving you the energy to put towards your dreams and goals and show you that one of the biggest responsibilities you have to yourself is making these dreams happen. Without a doubt, if you don't put the energy into it, it's not going to happen. And challenges, of course, are not meant to hold us back. They're meant to put more power into our success. Nothing beautiful and amazing is going to happen without some sacrifice. People don't come to you. These opportunities don't come to you. You got to go out there and you got to find them. You got to do whatever it takes to make your success what you want it to be. So this week is really all about daring to do just that. Don't worry about the challenges. Don't worry about the opinions of others. Heck, don't worry about anything that you don't have to worry about. Just keep your eye on the prize and do what you got to do in order to get the awesome success that you require for yourself. So you guys, be brave and have a great week with that. Sagittarius, this week you're moving into a place where you can kind of sort of take a step back and take a rest, which is awesome. And you want to make sure that you do that this week. You've had so much coming up recently, so many different ideas. You've got them all written down, hopefully, if you're paying attention to the last few weeks' posts or last few weeks' horoscopes. You've written them down. You've started the process. You're starting to put things in place. This week is all about taking that step back and taking some rest time. Rest time is really important, and for a typical Sagittarian, they don't really like to sit still very much. But you don't want to burn yourself out either. And I'm sure you know what that's all about, because many Sagittarians have so much energy to put into things that eventually, if they don't take the time to take care of number one first, which is you, by the way, you'll burn yourself out trying to do everything at once. This week, take a step back, take some time for you, lay on the couch and watch some soaps or do whatever it is that you want to do for you, but make sure that you have that time to rest, because you're going to need it with all of the awesome things and the challenges that are going to be coming up for you guys. So you guys, enjoy that rest time and have a great week with that. Capricorn, Uranus' squared position with Pluto this week makes a difficulty when it seems like you just don't have time to juggle all of the things that you need to do this week. And this can be extremely frustrating when you are so focused on making sure that everything gets done. It is the Capricorn way. Leave nothing undone. Make sure it all gets taken care of, right? And these wrenches in your life and wrenches in your plans are making it a bit difficult to do that this week. At the same time, though, Pluto's aspects with Neptune are a big help when she shows you that there are people out there that are willing to help you. And all you need really to do is ask, or they may even come to you and offer that help. But the true Capricorn way, in many cases, is to do it yourself, because nobody's going to do it as well as you guys, right? I mean, you guys are the most organized of all of the signs of the zodiac. But it's really important to let them, if somebody comes to you offering help, let them help you. Because doing everything yourself doesn't make you successful. It wears you out and causes your success to be a little bit more farther off than you want. And you don't want to push your success away. You want to bring it forward. So if they come offering help, let them help you. And don't put so much pressure on yourself to have everything done right this minute. If it's not a necessity and you're not on a deadline, put it off to the side and deal with it later. No one's going to die. It's going to be okay. You guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, this week is all about your foundation, and a stable and strong foundation is definitely the first step towards being successful when it comes to all the different aspects of your life this week. Most Aquarians lead very busy lives with so many things to focus on. And if that foundation is even just a little bit unstable, or there's any kind of holes in there, it's going to be disastrous for you as everything sort of falls apart. It's time this week to take a look at that foundation and patch up any holes that may be there. Now, this is not necessarily something that people want to do, because an emotional foundation is really, really, really important to your success. No Aquarian really wants to hear that, and I'm definitely a typical Aquarian not wanting to hear that, but it is so important to your success. If you don't face it and run through it, you're not going to be able to move forward and attain those dreams that you got your eye on right now. So this week, really take a look at that foundation. And if there's some cracks in that foundation, be brave enough to fix those cracks. Put something in those holes, or whatever it is that you need to do so that you can achieve the success that you need. And this is the perfect time, coming just after a blue moon in your sign. In fact, the week kicks off with the moon in your sign. So you're going to have that emotion kind of sort of coming out. Let it flow. You don't have to do it in front of everybody. Just let it flow, let it come out, and move on. As you do that and you let it come out and you let it go, those cracks seem to disappear and fix themselves. It's kind of like magic. So you guys, have a great week with that. And finally, we've got Pisces. Neptune moves into opposition with Jupiter and Venus this week, and towards the end of the week, Mercury. And that is going to be a bit of tension when it seems like you're caught in between the career goals that you love and want to achieve, and those that you love and your responsibilities to them. This is a very difficult place to be in the middle of, unfortunately, as you feel like you're kind of sort of being pulled in one direction or the other. And that definitely makes some difficulties for you there, especially on an emotional level. But the moon kicks off the week in your sign on Monday and Tuesday, and as she does, she moves in a perfect position to create a grand water trine between herself, Mars, and Saturn, showing you that the responsibilities to yourself and your dreams is equally as important as the responsibilities to others. It's time to learn to avoid that fear of, if something goes wrong in one aspect of my life, it's going to sort of roll downhill to all the other aspects of your life. You don't have to live like that, guys. You can be successful in all aspects of your life. A little bit of stress is nothing. Let it go and let things flow again. It doesn't have to hold you back. Also, Neptune's position with Pluto is showing you how much this has something to do with what's going on right now, your own thought process. If your thought process is, I'm going to fail, well then, honey, I'm sorry, but it's going to happen. You don't want your thought process to manifest something that you don't want. Use your thoughts in a positive way to manifest what you do want to happen, the success in all aspects of your life. And you can do this because you're worth it. So you guys, have a great week with that. Thanks for watching the horoscopes this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and don't forget to check out all of our lovely links, our websites. Join our group on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Grateful Fairy Wings Faithfuls. We've got more classes coming up. We've got a personal development class starting in a couple of weeks, and you're not going to find out when unless you like our pages or join that group, because the schedule is really not on our website yet, but we're working on a new one, guys. So make sure that you join those groups so that you're in the loop. We've got classes on personal development, mediumship development, astrology, empathy, psychic development, and so much more. New classes are about to be coming out anytime now. You got to be on those pages or part of that group to be there to get the information on that. You guys rock, and I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next week.